Hello everyone. Let us start our last topic of our lesson, magnetic effects of electric current. Last time we had started this topic. This is the part 2 of the same topic, that is electromagnetic induction. In the previous video we had seen that when a conductor is placed in a magnetic field, and that magnetic field, if we keep on changing, we'll notice that a current is induced in the conductor or in a coil. This is called, this phenomena, this process is known, this phenomena is known as electromagnetic induction. To induce the current due to change of magnetic field, this is called an electromagnetic induction. In the previous activity we had seen that we had taken a coil of n number of turns of copper wire. Then we had also taken a galvanometer connected to the coil, and then we had kept had a bar magnet near the coil. When we take the magnet towards the coil, we had seen the momentary deflection in the coil, and then again we take it away, then also we note down a momentary deflection, but now in the opposite direction. On changing the polarity of the magnet, like earlier we had brought the north pole towards the coil, now if we bring the south pole towards the coil, again we will notice that there is a deflection, but again this deflection is in the opposite direction. When you will draw it away from the coil, again you will notice a deflection in the coil. Now children, instead of using a magnet, if I use a coil, current carrying coil, then what will happen? Let's see in this activity. What we have taken in this activity, generally this question, activity question is not asked in the question, but still we have to do the activity. The question which comes from this topic is, what are the different ways to induce current? So that is the question that I have written the answer here, that also I will explain. Just wait for a while. In this case, what we have taken two coils. One we have named as primary coil or coil 1, and secondary coil, coil 2. Primary coil is connected with a current source, that is a battery, and then we have a plug key. Secondary coil we have connected with a galvanometer, that will give us the presence, that will show us the presence of the current. Now on passing the current through this coil, when this battery is switched on, we will notice that when electromagnets, temporary magnets, they behave as magnet due to the current. So in this case, when the current is passed through this coil 1, it starts behaving as a magnet, or now it is a electromagnet. Because of this passing of the current, a magnetic field is generated, and there are magnetic field lines. If there are magnetic field lines, when we start passing the current, we will notice that earlier the pointer of the galvanometer was at 0. Now it has started moving, say, towards the right hand side. This is the observation. Now, if we change the direction of current, if we change the direction of the current, we'll notice that the deflection in the galvanometer is again in the opposite side. So this is your activity. Now these are the observation. Potential difference is induced in coil 2 whenever the electric current through coil 1 is changing. Whenever there is a change in electric current, how will the current change? When we will switch it on or switch it off, either by starting it or by stopping. When the current is flowing continuously, the same amount of magnetic field is there, so there is no change in the magnetic field lines or the magnetic flux, so there will not be any deflection in this coil. But whenever we are changing a magnetic field, for this phenomena, the one and the only condition is that the magnetic field lines they have to change. If there won't be any change in the magnetic flux or magnetic field lines, no current will be induced in this case. So a potential difference is induced in coil 2 whenever the electric current through coil 1 is changing, that is starting or stopping. Second observation, as the current in coil 1 changes, why this happens? Magnetic field associated with also changes. Thus magnetic field lines around the second coil also change, hence a current is induced. So what is the reason? Reason is there is change in magnetic field lines, or what we call as flux. We can Again, now how can we induce current in a coil? These are the different ways by which the question is, write different ways by which you can induce current in a coil. So these I have written here. We can induce current in a coil either by moving it in a magnetic field, like in the previous activity, the magnet was moving. If we keep a conductor stationary or the magnet is moving, first. Second, when the conductor is moving towards a fixed magnet, that time also, or when they both are in motion with respect to each other, then also. These are the three different ways by which you can induce a current in a coil. The induced current is found, question comes here. When the induced current is found, or the force similar like we had done in Fleming's left hand rule, when the force on a conductor is maximum. Same way, when the induced current is found to be highest, when both direction of motion of coil is right angle to the magnetic field. Both the direction of motion of the coil and the magnetic field, they have to be at right angle to each other. So then there you will find the highest amount of induced current. Children, from this, in the previous two rules, we had found first rule, that is Maxwell's right hand thumb rule. That rule was to give us the direction of magnetic field. We have found now how to get the direction of magnetic field. Then we got Fleming's left hand rule, that was to find out the direction of motion of the conductor. Third rule, now how will we find out the direction of induced current? See. This. Magnetic field lines. Then we had motion of conductor. Then direction of induced current. In this chapter, we have studied these three rules to find out these three things. First was Maxwell's right hand thumb rule that gave us the direction of magnetic field. In any of the cases, if we want to find out the direction of magnetic field, which rule are you going to use? You are going to use Maxwell's right hand thumb rule. Second, motion of conductor or the force on the conductor. How will you find out that the force on the conductor? Force on conductor. That can be found out with Fleming's left hand rule. Now the third thing left, that is the direction of induced current. That can be found out with the help of Fleming's right hand rule. In the exam, you may be asked to write the statement. This is quite important, as Fleming's left hand is important. Same way, these three rules, statements are quite important. Stretch your thumb, forefinger and middle finger. Stretch your thumb, forefinger and middle finger of your right hand so that they are perpendicular to each other. This is how these three are perpendicular to each other. Here the forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field. Thumb shows the motion of the conductor and your center finger gives you the direction of induced current. This is our Fleming's right hand rule. Children, with this our lesson magnetic effects of electric current is over, because the rest of the part is cut by CBSE this time. So till here you have to study this chapter. Along with this, I will send a worksheet also. Thank you, girls.